guys. This is not communist China. Don't you guys have family and kids?
And we have a lot more a lot more COVID cases, but the police officers, they stand for the people. What do you think about adopting that? Oh, he just did his he's putting the stuff on his hands, make sure he didn't get germs from being outside. I don't think I touched him.
Canada. This was Jacksonville, Florida last night. I think it's time you peeked outside of your igloos and admitted you've been bamboozled.
100 riot police, and that was before this police state announcement. Here's the same Toronto Police Service attacking our reporters. Oh no.
Hey everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom. Happy Mother's Day. Whew. I'm glad I'm in the United States because our neighbors to the north, Canada has fallen. Canada is under siege. Canada needs our help, our prayers, our love, and our support. That's what we're going to talk about on this Mother's Day. Let's get started.
I hear the sweet sound of freedom, and I won't be long.
As usual, please like, please share, please subscribe, please leave a comment, especially on Facebook. Y'all, I didn't plan on doing this video today. There's a scripture in James chapter 4, verse 17. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. And I don't want to sin today. We are having a wonderful, beautiful Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I miss my mom, but happy Mother's Day to everybody. And, okay, we're going to jump right in. I'm throwing this together. It's going to be kind of rough, but I have gotten clips and I have gotten notices over the weekend about Canada. It is out of control. They are arresting pastors for being pastors. Pastors are being arrested for having church. It is absolutely unbelievable. And to everybody that hasn't paid any attention, all the United States people, kind of look north. That's our neighbor. Canada has fallen. Canada is under siege. And they're so close to us. I mean, goodness sakes, if Justin Trudeau can't get everybody to get jabbed the way he'd like them to get jabbed, who would he call? Us? He'd probably call the CCP, and wouldn't that be to have more of them on our northern border anyway? I'm going to keep right moving. I want to play the video of this Artur Pawlowski being arrested. You're going to see them being hauled out of their car on the highway because they left church. They've been having to have underground church in secret. This is a man that feeds the poor. This is a man that clothes people. This is a pastor in every sense of the word. And how has the Canadian government said thank you with about 300 tickets so far and hundreds of thousands of dollars of fines, but it has not stopped him. He has been undaunted. And so what do the cowardly Canadian police do? They wait until he is finished with his service and they arrest him on the highway because they do not have the courage to do so in front of their parishioners. It's shocking. I'm going to play it, then we're going to talk about it.
What's your name, officer?
Do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style. You're good Gestapo. Do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style. Do it the Nazi style. Do it. The taser me. Kill me. Do it the Nazi style.
China. Don't you guys have family and kids?
It's Sunday, 4:30 Eastern on Mother's Day. Folks, I honestly don't know if Pastor Pawlowski is in jail or not. I don't know if he's been released. I do know that Pastor Coates spent 35 days in jail for being a pastor. And thank you, Robert, for sending me clips, and other people have sent me clips, but Robert, you've sent a ton. The thing is that what I told Robert was that, you know, if you live in a somewhat and Ohio's got some issues we're going to talk about, but you just, if where you live is halfway normal, you just don't realize what other people are going through. This is what this pastor's going through. They pull him off on the highway and drag him into a cop car, Nazi style. If you can support Pastor Pawlowski, you want to support him as legal fund, I'm going to show you how to do that. I've already done that. I'm just mentioning that. I absolutely, folks, what else are we going to do? Are we going to let men of God in the Northern Hemisphere be put in jail for preaching the gospel? Okay, in Regina, the city of Regina, there were some protests for freedom and mask-free freedom, and there was a group there. I believe the lady's name is Laura Lynn. She's very smart, very well-spoken. I'd like to play a whole lot more than I am, but I want to replay this clip because I just think it illustrates the stupidity and the cowardice of these police officers. And listen, I'm pro-police, but I'm not pro-stupid police and cowardly police, and these guys here are cowardly. Anyway, let me play it for you. Here we go.
And we have a lot more a lot more COVID cases, but the police officers, they stand for the people. What do you think about adopting that? Oh, he just did his he's putting the stuff on his hands, make sure he didn't get germs from being outside. I don't think I touched him. What do you think, Gudo?
Oh, it's
So the lady speaking was part of a small group of patriots that drove from another city, maybe even another province, to be part of a freedom rally. And I watched the whole video, and the whole time, if she would speak to the police, they would pay her no attention. I got news for the Canadian police. You work for the Canadian people, the same way that police here in the United States work for the people. We're their boss. It's not the other way around. And so when Pastor Pawlowski is saying Nazi, he's absolutely on the money. But this police officer, she's speaking to him, he's paying her no mind. And to show you the idiocy, the stupidity, he's getting in his vehicle and he's putting hand sanitizer on because he was outside. Oh, good grief. All right, I'm going to keep moving. This young lady taught me something about Trudeau that I didn't know. Maybe it'll be news to you too. Here we go.
He's a communist at heart.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say we need to go green as fast as we need to start investing in solar.
I don't know about you folks, but I am tired of tolerating Luciferian idiots, and you just heard from one admiring a communist dictatorship. Why? Because they're turning their economy on a dime. That's a lie, Justin. That's absolutely a lie. They got the dirtiest air. They got the dirtiest water. Or do you admire them for the forced organ harvesting also? Do you admire them for the Uyghur camps? Do you admire them for the spying that they're doing in your country and in our country? Do you admire them for Eric Swalwell? Do you admire them for the fact that they have you in a place of total cowardice, and that's why you're allowing troop movements in your country? Folks, y'all in Canada, you got to do something. You got to pray, we got to fast, but you got to do something. I'm putting this little video together to know that we're standing with you. Good grief, that cat has got to go. I believe this next clip is from Ezra Levant's program, Rebel News. Y'all, I don't care where you are in the world, you need to find Rebel News and you need to subscribe or check it out regularly. They do an excellent job, but you are going to hear some stuff. If you're not Canadian and not following this on a daily basis, you're going to hear some stuff right now that should be bone-chilling because it's off the chart. Off the chart. Here we go.
Take a look at this.
We have implemented the strictest measures in all of North America. And the difficult truth is, every public health measure we have left comes with a massive cost to people and their lives. But we have never shied away from doing what's necessary.
We have made the deliberate decision to temporarily enhance police officers' authority for the duration of the stay-at-home order. Moving forward, police will have the authority to require any individual who is not in a place of residence to, first, provide their purpose for not being at home and provide their home address. Police will also have the authority to stop a vehicle, to inquire about an individual's reason for leaving their residence.
Folks, this isn't 6 months ago. This isn't a year ago. This is right now. This is going on. This is being perpetrated on our Canadian brothers and sisters right now. I can't imagine. You know, my wife and I, it's Mother's Day. Today, Mother's Day, we were in Kroger, and this never happens. Never wear a mask in Kroger. But we were standing in line at the deli, and some 30-year-old probably, I hear him holler out, talking to my wife, and he says, "Why aren't you wearing a mask?" I turned around and I said, "Shut up. Mind your own business. Shut up." I can't, but you know what? I'm not living in Canada, because in Canada, as a Revant, in that program, he goes on to say that traveling from certain cities to certain cities, they're stopping people on the highway and wanting to know, why are you outside of your house? How is it that Florida is open, Texas is open, Ohio is kind of open, but how is it that this my precious, this virus that they love so much, how come it's not stopping life in Florida on the same continent? It's not stopping life in Texas. It's not stopping life in South Dakota. And yet in Canada, what is it, 10 times more powerful? Okay, there's more. I'm just ranting. We're going to keep going.
And our inspectors will also be ensuring that those who absolutely must come to work are strictly following the public health measures. For our employers and employees, take note, this is your last warning.
I want to just say this to all y'all in Canada, and I want to say this to Americans too. I have not read your Canadian Constitution. I'm assuming it's pretty good. Now, in America, we have a wonderful, it is one of the most magnificent documents ever crafted by man. It is more than a work of art, and I believe that, yes, it is divinely inspired. It's not scripture, I'm not saying that, but it's a wonderful document. That being said, our rights here in America do not come from the Constitution. Anybody that thinks that has got it all backwards. The Constitution does as close to perfect as possible job of recognizing that our rights come from Almighty God. And the Constitution does its best simply to affirm that fact. The Constitution doesn't give us rights. God gives us rights. The Constitution does its best to recognize it, and that's how it works, and that's the way that it works in Canada, because all men are created equal. We're all God's creatures. And this skinny little, squirrely little dude that just talked about if it's absolutely positively necessary, it's none of your, I'm so glad I don't swear, it is none of your business. That kid in Kroger, that exchange went a little bit longer. I kept it under control, but I told him, mind your own business. It's none of your business. I had a lady yesterday ask me, are you vaccinated? None of your business. We're going to keep going.
I'm wondering about these new police powers to just randomly stop someone walking down the street or to pull over a car. What happens if a person refuses to answer the police questions?
I'm not telling anybody what to do because I'm not completely sure that I know what I would do. But I'll tell you one thing that I have thought about in these days and times is how likely I am to comply with an illegal order carried out by any form of authority. Because if somebody's acting on an illegal law, an illegal mandate. Well, I guess I do it, but I'm talking about something serious. But I'm sorry, I have probably worn the face diaper about 5 minutes in the last year. I just can't understand it. I guess I'm just not wired that way. But in answer to the question that was just posed, what should, if somebody doesn't want to give their identification, I think Canadian police and Canadian authorities are likely to be finding out what happens when people recognize their rights don't come from those premiers and your parliament. And I'm saying that respectfully if I'm using the wrong terminology for the way your government is labeled and, and organized. But I just want to say to all you Canadian folks and all the American folks, your rights don't come from the government. Your rights come from Almighty God.
So by issuing these new additional enforcement measures, it allows police officers to ask the person why they are not at their place of residence and what their place of residence is. And specifically to your question, if you are not willing to comply, then you are breaking the law.
If someone sees their neighbors breaking these new regulations and having a party in their yard, that sort of thing, should people call police on their neighbors?
In terms of people calling to snitch, to inform, look, we all have a personal responsibility. If it means saving lives, then I think we have to think about what your social responsibilities are as an individual to make sure that you don't empower other people and invite a whole bunch of individuals to your home.
Canada. This was Jacksonville, Florida last night.
I revisited that clip of the young lady playing the clip from Florida to illustrate just how stupid, just how asinine, just how ridiculous this elected official from Canada is when she says, don't invite people to your home. Well, why is it that you can have thousands of people celebrating at a sporting event, looks like in Florida? By the way, on the 27th, I'm going to the Health and Freedom Alliance conference in Tampa, and I want to assure this lady thug in Canada I will not be masking, I will not be social distancing, and I will not be super spreading, and I will not be worried. But she is trying to justify, and it's not based on science, and it's not based on medicine, she's trying to justify people ratting and snitching on their neighbors. So what are they ratting for? What are they snitching for? It would be to enable the police state. And I'm going to bring this in for a landing, bring this in for a close. Folks here in Ohio, if you think Mike DeWine wouldn't do the very same thing if he could, I think we got another thing coming. I will remind this audience, those of you that I can still find, that in March of 2019, Mike DeWine tried to put into the Ohio Revised Code. I may revisit that and bring it up on the screen at some point in the future for those that aren't familiar with this info, but he tried to give himself police state powers like they're experiencing in Canada. He wanted the ability to be able to control and command local law enforcement right down to the beat level from his place there in Centerville or Columbus or wherever he might be. So don't for a moment think that if he was able that he wouldn't, because he certainly would. I want to play a clip. It's been so long since I checked out one of his snooze fests that he does every about twice a week, but I want to play a clip, and then I've got one other clip, and then we're going to bring it in for a landing. Here we go.
Next question is from Adrienne Robbins at WCMH in Columbus.
Governor, if we continue to see our vaccine, the amount of vaccines we're giving out from day to day go down, and we see more and more vaccine hesitancy, how does that change what you think Ohio will look like this summer? I know previously a lot of people were looking forward to a relatively normal summer. If we don't get more and more people getting the shot, how does that change that?
Okay, before you hear his answer, before you hear the answer from Ohio's moron-in-chief, I just want to say, I got news for that reporterette. I thought some of us were going to have a normal summer. Well, honey, I'm having a normal summer, all right? Me and mine, as for me and this house, we going to be having a normal summer. But listen close to what our dictator-in-chief is going to answer. He is nothing but a shill for the global medical mafia. And you're going to hear his changing narrative even as he's speaking. I'm going to show you. Here we go.
Well, I think one of the things that the experts are telling us is that this concept of herd immunity, where our mind went, that means we're done with the virus. I think when you read what the experts are saying now, very few people are saying we're going to get rid of this virus.
See how long it took him to think of, okay, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? What did they tell me to say? What am I supposed to say? The experts were saying, but now they're saying. First of all, Mike DeWine has never spoken to a lot of experts that I think he should have. Has he ever spoken to Simone Gold? Has he ever talked to Dr. Bartlett? Did he ever talk to Stella Emanuel? Did he ever talk to Dr. Merrick? No. He has been a complete propagandist for the global medical mafia. Every time he goes to the camera, he lies. He lied in March of last year when he appeared on Tucker Carlson and they were saying that we had 100,000 cases in Ohio, doubling every 6 days. That was a lie. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. That was a lie. And then the lie that he told to extend the lockdown. And then middle of August, he had the whole state waiting as we were partially reopened. Is he going to shut everything down again? And he theatrically pulls off a mask. It was nothing but theater. Do you wear a mask at home alone? Maybe Mike DeWine does, but it was complete theater, and he lied. He looked right in the camera, and he lied to the Ohio constituency, and he said, we can drive this virus to the ground if we all wear masks, and everybody put on their face diapers, and guess what? He never followed through on believing that they had driven the virus to the ground. And nobody has ever said that herd immunity would mean that there's no virus anymore. He's just changing his tactics day by day because he wishes that he was in Canada. And he wishes that he could do what they're doing up there. And if you didn't know just how stupid a thing this man is capable of saying, I want to show you one of the stupidest things you've ever heard in the world. Here we go.
But at the same time, if you are someone who has not been vaccinated, we still have a variant that is out there that is more contagious than it was a few months ago. And so even though cases are down, if you have not been vaccinated, the risk to you is certainly very, very significant.
You see there, ladies and gentlemen, there's a variant out there that a couple of months ago it was weak. But it took a Charles Atlas weightlifting class. It tried the wider way, and it's been doing push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups, and it got a personal trainer, and now it's contagiouser than it was a while back, and it will take you to contagion land if you don't get what he suggests that you get. Okay, I'm rambling here. Folks, this gentleman would love to be in Canada if he could, but I'm going to close with this. What you see playing in the background, and I really felt like I was supposed to say this. I went to Rebel News, and they have a specific place where you can donate to help Pastor Pawlowski. I gave $100. I'm going to give another $100, but and I wouldn't usually say that, but listen. If you can give $5, $1, anything, or if you feel like you should, but this is a man of God that is being persecuted like just beyond belief right here in North America, and we need to stand with him. And by the way, when you give 100 American or give 100 Canadian, it's only $82 American. That was kind of a surprise, but anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Listen, find one of these stories or find this video and share it. It is absolutely appalling what's going on. And the reason I spent some time on Mike DeWine is just to illustrate that if some people in our country had it their way, we'd be right where Canada is right now. Canadian brothers and sisters, we got your back. and all around the world, people are praying for you, standing with you, and America is not going to let you down. Don't judge things by we're not going to let you down. That's another episode. God's got this. Until next time, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio, and God bless the United States of America, which is standing strong with our brothers and sisters in Canada.
I hear the sweet sound of freedom, and I won't be long.